What's up, guys? Waga Aruji here, and today we're going to be going over my top 10 anime that I think are underrated. So, as usual, this list is my opinion, so if you disagree with my list, that's totally okay. Just make sure to let me know how you would have done yours differently in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. At number 10, we have Ushio and Tora. If you've been missing the classic style and feel of original anime, you can definitely scratch that itch with this series. There's plenty of the classic features to go around, from the stubborn hero with the stubborn partner to some rather intense action scenes. Granted, since this anime is a bit old, it may not leave as much of an impact as you would think. The fact that it has plenty of classic shonen vibes is nice, but we already have a solid number of shonen pieces. What makes this one different is how it takes characters and cliches and makes them really work. This will definitely keep you entertained at the very least. The young boy finding a powerful spirit isn't new, but the series makes it unique in its own way. For our number 9 spot, we have Space Dandy. It's safe to say that this is a pretty wacky series. With some oddities and randomness, I find it easy to believe that this slipped through the cracks of anime pop culture. But still, there is a lot to find interesting here, and plenty of things to check out in the series. There is, of course, the different worlds that Dandy explores and the characters he meets, and these can definitely be fun for more casual viewers, or just anybody who wants to experience an anime that takes a much different direction than the other more standard shows that are normally available to watch. As random and wacky as the series is, I think it's definitely got some good character moments and thoughtful scenes too. This is the sort of series that you'd watch for fun or to explore some new creative ideas. It may not stand out to you even after you're done, but I can guarantee that there are some moments that will stick with you even after you've gone ahead and finished it. Next up, we've got 91 Days taking our number 8 spot. Honestly speaking, this show was a huge hit when it came out back in 2016. However, over the years, fans have honestly forgotten about this just beautiful show. And now the anime series is hardly a topic of discussion in the community. Still, it doesn't change the fact that 91 Days is brilliant, and that it should definitely be on your watch list. The story of 91 Days is set in the fictional town of Lawless, the most prominent black market for selling illicit materials. Avilio, the main character of this series, returns to Lawless after a long time to take down the mafia gang responsible for the murder of his family. The tone and animation style of this particular anime reminds you of Cowboy Bebop. So if you were a big fan of that classic show, you'll definitely want to check this one out too. At our number 7 spot is Claymore. This show is so underrated, it's honestly sickening. Claymores are female warriors with demon blood inside them. Their only mission in life is to destroy Yoma, or demons, and they have no chance of ever being in a relationship because of the damage and modifications done to their bodies. Having been made by Madhouse Studios, this show only has one season, but the animation does a stellar job of highlighting the depressing reality of its all-female cast. It's also filled with that beautiful Madhouse animation for fight scenes, so if that's what you're really looking for, this story is more than enough. Not to mention its incredibly touching plot. Low-key, this is one of my favorite anime series, especially with a mainly female cast. This is one that recently clips of the show have been garnering attention for it on social media, so if you have been looking for a little more info on it, hopefully I provided that without too much of it being spoiled. And for the number 6 spot, we're talking Mushishi. Deep but low-key would be the best way to describe this series. Mushishi explores a different sort of spirit called Mushi, and brings a thoughtful side to the supernatural genre. Essentially, it uses this as an exploration of man's relationship to nature. Being a rather slow anime, it doesn't stand out all that much, to be honest, but it does offer a different take to the idea of spirits, which I found really cool. You could say that this is a rather soft series because it gives different stories with each episode, but I like it because you can pick it up almost anywhere. In short, this is a different sort of supernatural series that features nature and delivers a good amount of feels to boot. Darker Than Black comes in at our number 5 spot. One of the finest mystery, science fiction, and thriller anime shows ever created. Honestly, it's a shame that the series never got that much attention from fans, despite being a masterpiece. The series comes from the mind of Tensei Okamura, who worked on legendary anime like Cowboy Bebop, Sword Art Online, Soul Eater, and Seven Deadly Sins. The story of Darker Than Black revolves around the mysterious Hell's Gate that suddenly appears in Tokyo. Several psychics with supernatural powers try solving the mystery of the gate. However, the story mainly follows the journey of Hei and his blind companion Yin, the most powerful psychics the world has ever known. If you're a big fan of this genre and looking for a new addition to your watch list, I cannot recommend Darker Than Black more. It has a satisfying plot, as well as enough action to keep even the most casual viewers invested. Please go ahead and give this one a watch and let me know what you think. For number 4, we have the Monogatari Complex. Now, this one might be a little strange to some of you, as it's not extremely unpopular, with one of its seasons giving us Renai Circulation, everybody's favorite anime song. Most people probably at least know of this insanely good series. A truly wonderful take on character development focused anime. Bakemonogatari and so on is one of the most amazingly animated anime in recent memory. Suffering the same fate as some shonen out there, the amount of content puts some people off, but the engaging story and overarching plot of this one really makes the effort worth putting in for this show. And with all their seasons being essentially self-contained stories you can enjoy on their own, no real continuous investment is needed to get the available enjoyment out of this series. This was one of the first shows that I watched in anime, at least, that was truly focused on the characters and the development of their individual and unique plots. So if you're looking for something that's a little more serious than the average save the world fighting anime, then I cannot recommend a better one than this. It truly goes above and beyond, and the animation as well carries the plot along the entire way through. So for the first spot in our top 3, we have The Eminence in Shadow. This is a newer anime that I had the privilege to read the light novel before it came out. Most recently, I've been seeing a lot of people in the community saying that this show is pretty bad, but they can't stop watching it and other things of a similar nature. But as an avid reader and enjoyer of the power fantasy genre, this story directly struck a chord with me as soon as I discovered it. Following Sid Kagano along as he strives both in our world and the other he ventures to, as he attempts to become the shadow entity pulling the strings behind all major events, is both comedic and satisfying. As well, watching the side characters struggle to keep up with his insane luck, which they consider to be intelligence, and isekai world-ending power, as all these stories normally go, gives off a similar vibe to Genos from One Punch Man. So you get that average person truly striving towards becoming strong, as well as the OPMC that a lot of us really enjoy. Overall, even though this show is still kind of picking up speed, I think the general opinion of it was given far too early, and those interested in this type of anime or this genre in general will definitely not be disappointed after giving this one a try. Another one that might be controversial comes in at our number 2 spot, as we have a certain scientific railgun. In a society full of special humans with Esper-like abilities, how would they live, and how does everybody else deal with them? This is the main topic that this anime follows, and it comes with an incredible plot and tons of great characters. One of the most respected schools with espers is Tokiwadai Middle School. If we're talking about anime with superpowers, Railgun is definitely one of the best written that there is. A Certain Scientific Railgun is definitely one of the JC staff's best anime series, especially when considering that they don't normally tackle action. The light novels and manga were hugely successful for it, but I feel the anime's numbers were always below what they could have been. And with clips of the show suddenly gaining a resurgence on social media, I feel now is a great time to attempt to introduce some new viewers to this wonderful show. And finally, for our number one spot, we have Monster. Monster is another series by Madhouse, and one of their greatest of all time. Our main character, Kenzo Tenma, saves a child's life, and the child ends up becoming a serial killer later on in time. Feeling deeply responsible and regretful of his act of life-saving grace, he takes action to correct his mistake. He goes out of his way to confront the beast that this child has become. And that's how the anime's slow, mind-bending plot begins its climb to greatness. If you're a fan of psychological horror and slow but insanely engaging plots, Monster should definitely be a top contender for your watch list. But anyway, guys, that was my list. And if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like, as it really does help me out. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Otherwise, I've been Waga Aruji, and I'll see you in the next one.